Big breaking news coming in on a shocker, a vice president poll shocker to the Congress party. Now, the TMC has declared that they will not vote for Margaret Alva, who is the vice president candidate of the opposition. The TMC says a big allegation being made by the party that they were not consulted on the vice president nomination. Let me go across to Tanushree as we keep up with that breaking news input coming in, and we'll try and pick up more political reactions on the same. Tanushree, you're outside the BJP headquarters. What's the mood there this evening?
Well, if you see, we are here in Kalyani, and in Kalyani is 2 hours away from Kolkata, and celebrations have started over here. A road show has been going on, congratulating Draupadi Murmu. We would be talking to the MLA over here. Sir, Draupadi Murmu has won practically. How would you congratulate her?
I beg your pardon?
What are the congratulatory message you have for Draupadi Murmu?
Yes, my biggest message to Draupadi Murmu, congratulations to her for winning such a massive victory, and she has become the President of India first, because from her section, from her society, she is the first person. She has become the President of India. Now this is a very big message to the cross section of the society, very message to the marginalized section of the society. Tribal community is a huge section, their population in India. So from their community, earlier there was no person became the President of India, and that too from the women section. So this is a very big message.
Also, we are seeing that Trinamool Congress has said they are going to stay away from the vice president election. What would you say?
Trinamool Congress, they do not believe in democracy. See, in her party there is only one post. All other posts are lamp posts. And this is why whatever she thinks, she tries to do, and she tries to impose on the people of India. Now she is not going to take part in this vote for the vice president election. That is a very, very bad message. She is not believing in the democracy. She does not have faith in the constitution. So this is a very, very, very shameful thing. Now we do not expect from a person, that too she is a chief minister of Bengal. She is not participating in the election. So her participation does not make any difference. Her participation does not make any difference simply because she knows that despite her all oppositions, this is the vice president of India, she is going to win this election. So it does not make any difference. Only the message she wants to give that she is not believing in this constitution. She is not believing in the democracy. That is the message.
So we see that the BJP MLA from Kalyani, Ambika Roy, he is saying that Mamata Banerjee's party TMC staying away from the vice president elections means that she does not believe in democracy, because her opinion, as the TMC alleged, was not sought. Therefore, they have decided to abstain, and this is why the BJP is saying that because her opinion was not taken.
Absolutely,
so
Tanushree, because there was an apparent U-turn in the presidential elections as well, and now a big shocker coming in, certainly for the opposition parties. Let's listen into what D. Raja and Sharad Pawar had said earlier on when they were extremely confident and had confirmed TMC support for Margaret Alva.
How many parties are exactly on the board? 17 parties were here.
17 parties plus 2. That means 17 plus TMC plus Aam Aadmi Party. Aam Aadmi Party conveyed to Mr. Pawar, as they did it in case of Yashwant Sinha, they will do in the case of Margaret Alva also. That's all.
Okay, so TMC and Aam Aadmi Party are on board.
Yeah, that is what we hope, and that is what they have given to understand.
And the nomination will be on 19th.
19th. Nomination will be on 19th.
How many parties are exactly on the board? 17 parties were here.
17 parties plus 2. That means 17 plus TMC plus Aam Aadmi Party. Aam Aadmi Party conveyed to Mr. Pawar, as they did it in case of Yashwant Sinha, they will do in the case of Margaret Alva also. That's all.
Okay, so TMC and Aam Aadmi Party are on board.
Yeah, that is what we hope, and that is what they have given to understand.
And the nomination will be on 19th.
19th. Nomination will be on 19th.
We discussed few names, and ultimately we unanimously approved the name of the Srimati Margaret Alva. we are also trying to contact Mamta ji. She was leading some conference, so our contact is not established.
All right, let me open this up to our guest joining us this evening. We have Mr. R. Rajagopalan, senior journalist with us, also Tausif Ahmed, who's a political analyst. If I could begin with you, Mr. Tausif Ahmed, because at the moment the numbers are clearly in favor of Draupadi Murmu. 71.79% votes that have gone to her, 28% votes to Yashwant Sinha. But a big controversy has erupted amidst all of this, with the TMC now coming out and saying that they will abstain from voting in the vice president election. Why? What happened? Why this apparent change in, not being consulted? We were not kept on board, and hence we're not going to either vote for the NDA candidate, but neither for Margaret Alva, because the likes of D. Raja were extremely confident till a few days ago that they have the TMC support.
There is no controversy at all. It's a very clear decision. Supporting an NDA candidate, that too Jagdeep Dhankhar, who we all have seen as a governor of the West Bengal, has created a havoc, so to say, has spoken as a BJP spokesperson in the position, misusing the position of the governor. So there is no question of supporting the NDA candidate. The other option was to support the opposition's candidate. Now for that, it was the duty of the opposition to keep Trinamool in loop if they really wanted the support of Trinamool. Trinamool is a party with 35 MPs in parliament. And vice president election is different from president's election. In president's election, MLAs are also involved in the voting process. In vice president election, it's MPs who will be voting. So if the opposition camp, which suddenly called a meeting in Sharad Pawar's house, and if they really wanted a support, they would have consulted beforehand instead of deciding amongst themselves and then intimating that such and such candidate has been finalized.
Okay.
And therefore, it's a decision of the party, and very well within its right to
you're saying this is
raise an
perhaps a
objection.
miscalculation on the part of the joint opposition. Let me go across to Mr. R. Rajagopalan, who's also with us this evening. Mr. Rajagopalan, what do you make of this kind of a reaction coming in from the TMC? They say they were not consulted for the candidate nomination earlier on, but we just played out that reaction. D. Raja extremely confident that it was 17 parties plus the Aam Aadmi Party and the TMC that are going to be voting for Madam Alva.
Mamta Banerjee is very mercurial and she does all sorts of U-turn politics. Second thing, my important observation is that Sitaram Yechuri proposed Margaret Alva's name without Sonia Gandhi's consent, without Mamta Banerjee's consent, without anyone's consent. Sitaram Yechuri coming into the force made Mamta Banerjee to boycott the election. She and Margaret Alva have been in Congress and they never went along with, even during P.V. Narasimha Rao's ministry or subsequent other ministries. Therefore, Mamta Banerjee's grudge against Sonia Gandhi and Margaret Alva plus Jagdeep Dhankhar. My understanding is, Madam, Hemanta Biswa Sarma, Mamta Banerjee and Jagdeep Dhankhar had a meeting at Darjeeling, and that was the turn of event. Since then, the centre knows that Mamta Banerjee is not going to vote for Margaret Alva nor for Jagdeep Dhankhar. Therefore, there is a split in opposition. Mamta Banerjee is slowly moving towards BJP. That is what the political calculation is.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's big. Mr. Tausif Ahmed, would you agree to what Mr. Rajagopalan is saying? That directly or indirectly looks like Mamta Banerjee is, giving advantage to the BJP, because remember already this was the NDA that had a clear edge over the opposition as far as both the presidential and the vice president elections go, and yet they managed the support of some of the opposition parties as well. Now, given the margin, if we talk about the numbers here, look at the gap between the two. 71.79% votes in the favor of Draupadi Murmu and 28% votes for Yashwant Sinha. The opposition looks like it's completely divided on the presidential elections as well.
No, I would not agree with Mr. Rajagopalan's observation that TMC is moving towards BJP. Perhaps he has not seen the 21st July Shahid Divas program that was held today, which is held every year. And there were a sea of people attending that rally. And BJP Hatao slogan was raised by Mamata Banerjee even today, BJP Hatao, Desh Bajao. And therefore, it is wrong to say, and it is only whimsical of a statement to say that Mamata Banerjee
but Mr. Tawseef Ahmed,
is in
the
a way
moot question is
helping
BJP को इतनी divided politics use करके कैसे हटाया जाएगा? The opposition is not united, it seems, and it seems as though there's a lot of cross-voting also that has taken place within the opposition ranks.
Within TMC also, madam, from TMC they voted for Margot.
By registering a protest against the selection process of Ms. Alva, it's a wake-up call for the opposition so that going ahead, all the decisions will be made with consensus. It wouldn't be otherwise like it had been in this incident where overnight meeting was called and an announcement was made without keeping TMC in loop. Consultation and consensus, all of this is a democratic process. And ideologically, Trinamool is more aligned with the opposition ideology than BJP. Therefore, whoever calls himself or herself as the big brother or big sister in opposition has to abide by these etiquettes that consultation, prior consultation and consensus is the key to a democratic process and is a key to keep the flock of oppositions together.
You know, Mr. Tawseef Ahmed, what happens to those joint opposition meetings that are time and again announced by the opposition parties, mostly spearheaded by Mamata Banerjee, in order to take down the BJP in 2024? If this is the strategy that they're going to adopt, it's going to lead to a total collapse. Mr. Rajagopalan.
My understanding is Mr. Tawseef Ahmed should give me an answer. If you are boycotting Jagdeep Dhankhar and if you are boycotting Margaret Alva, are you going to boycott Rajya Sabha also entirely? The reason being, he is going to preside over the function of Rajya Sabha. How can you say that you are going to boycott Dhankhar? That means the TMC MPs in Rajya Sabha will not be participating in Rajya Sabha proceedings. Am I right in my calculations? Because Mamata Banerjee's decision is always aimed at helping BJP. Mamata Banerjee's decision has always been, helping anti-Congressism. It was Mamata Banerjee who said that UPA collapsed. It is Mamata Banerjee who said Rahul Gandhi goes abroad very often. It is Mamata Banerjee who said that Congress Mukt Bharat, she is also helping in an indirect way to Narendra Modi. That is why I say Mamata Banerjee's U-turn and mercurial politics is not only splitting the opposition leaders are apprehensive that Mamata Banerjee type of chief ministers are going to help BJP in 2024.
Because Mr. Tawseef Ahmed, that's what happened in Yashwant Sinha's case as well. Many in the BJP and in the NDA camp have questioned Mamata Banerjee's U-turn, wherein after the NDA announced its candidate, Mamata Banerjee suddenly, there was a change in her tone. She said if we were aware of Madam Murmu being chosen as the NDA candidate, we would have perhaps rethought of our strategy. So there's no clear line being taken by the TMC, neither in the president's election nor in the vice president's election.
No, Mr. Rajagopalan said that abstaining, this decision to abstain from voting in the VP election will help NDA. I would request him to please talk about the number. How is this decision of TMC to abstain from the voting is going to help NDA candidate to win the election when they already have the number? Let us please talk about the number.
No, Mr. Tawseef Ahmed, I'm going to have to leave it at that. It's going to be clear disadvantage for the opposition, goes without saying. But I'm thanking both you and Mr. Rajagopalan for joining us on this broadcast. A very, very important story that we're closely watching out for. 2 rounds of counting of votes already have gone by, and a clear edge of Draupadi Murmu over opposition candidate Yashwant Sinha at the moment. Let's see how it plays out in the coming few hours. Slipping to a very short break here.